What is up? We are here talking touchdowns. Titletown's back. Tyler, we just finished the NBA rundown, but now we're going to switch into some National Football League. And people say, oh, it's so cool. You know, you gamble for a living, you gamble for your money. That must be so cool. Wasn't cool yesterday. Let me tell you that, because we're about to go hit them up on the Minnesota Vikings, right? Fuck Kirk Cousins as a motherfucking staff, record label, and crew. And if you're down with the Minnesota Vikings, Jonathan Nelson.
A special fuck you to the fucking Vikings.
Yeah, unfucking believable. We can't cover that teaser. Oh my gosh. So hey, we've been doing great here at Run Pure Bets.
I got another special fuck you spread, and that goes to Kenny Pickett.
Well, he got a concussion.
The fake concussion, because the dude went out and played another drive, and they said, "Oh, you suck. You're going back to the bench. We're putting Mitch in," and then Mitch throws 3 picks. Yeah. They couldn't leave Kenny in there to throw the 3 picks.
Yeah, we just got – so, hey, we've been doing great with the RPB tags and the NFL playbook here, but yesterday was not our best day. Overall, the weekend – well, we did great in NBA, so we had that going for us. The title was a tough weekend for the Run Pure crew. We're looking to you to get the good mojo to get us back on track, right? Because what could be better than after having a tough weekend of NFL betting than putting the right captain in, filling out that core, and getting some winners? How are you feeling about the NFL title?
Yeah, NFL, I'm feeling all right about it. I'll say a fuck you to somebody. Fuck you to the judges out there. Sal Diamato.
Yeah, those guys, yeah, fuck them too. I didn't even think we were going to touch on that sport, but yeah, fuck off to those 3.
Yeah, I'll say we're talking about the weekend and the recap. Yeah, fuck the judges. Patty, Ankle Eye, there's 2. It's hurtful. It's hurtful for sure. No doubt about that. As far as the NFL, yeah, it was. I went 1 and 2 on the 3 sites that I played main slates for that play a lot of action. So 1 and 2, what does that equal? That equals less money than I had coming into the weekend. It was tough, but hey, Monday is always fun to get it back. A decent NBA slate, got Showdown, a lot of money to be made tonight. So hoping to get back in the win column. Talk some football though. Talk about what we saw yesterday. Look ahead for the playoffs. So I'm always excited to talk some football with you guys.
All right, guys, and just a warning right now. If you have high blood pressure, you might need to tune out because this is going to be a salty show.
Get them away now.
It's going to be a salty show today, okay, right? So just letting you know, right? I mean, it's going to be like those McDonald's fries, right? I mean, just salt everywhere. Our first, the reason for our ire. And you know what sucks, Tyler? We had it right in the teaser. We had the Ravens +8. It's just a team we teased it with. But, yeah, I mean, it sucked. Pickett throw an interception. We thought it was a great pick, and we got cursed by the football gods. I think you know what Tyler and I think about it. Title, we're still pissed, but
I got to touch on the 2 dick kicks that I got in that game also. Other than the Kenny Pickett over a half interception we didn't get due to the fake concussion, we had over 3.5 total field goals in that game. Baltimore did their job. They put 3 on the board. Then the Steelers send out their kicker that's been on IR for the past 6 weeks. The dude can barely kick it over the fucking offensive line, and he gets blocked by somebody that jumped 3 inches off the ground. Where's the kid at that didn't miss a field goal for the past 4 weeks? Why isn't he still playing? We got to bring back
one of those weekends.
It's the Steeler way. We had to pay him.
It was one of those weekends, Title. I mean, it was like Valentine's Day for a player, and 4 girls showed up at your house all at the same time. Title, what did you think of the Ravens and the Steelers?
I didn't watch too much of it. My question was, I assume Tyler, or maybe you watch a bunch of it.
I watched it actually, yeah.
Like, so J.K. Dobbins, there's no way the dude looked healthy. Anytime I watched him run, the dude was playing on one leg, and he still dominated these Steelers. I mean, he put up 15 for 120 and a touchdown, but literally every single time I saw him run, and again, I didn't see all 15 carries. I saw a couple long ones. I saw when they tuned into him, but was he limping all game from start to finish? And he does not look 100% to me. And I don't know why the Ravens would be pushing him back early. You guys got anything on that?
I didn't initially see a limp. I seen it towards the end of the game. Like that one run he had where he burst through the offensive line. He got caught on like the 5-yard line.
Yeah, he was limping the whole way.
I thought that was more of he doesn't have that burst anymore from tearing the ACL. Like pre-injury J.K. Dobbins, Minka's nowhere near him when he goes into the end zone.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that burst anymore, I don't think.
I think he's still – I mean, like I said, I didn't watch all – but anytime I saw, I think he's – I mean, he looks like he's playing 70% healthy. Like, this dude should not be on the football field.
I think the other thing that's clouding my brain is when he would go off the field, slow motion Gus Edwards comes on. So when Dobbins is running the ball, it looks like he's kind of running a bit fast. So
yeah.
It's the one thing going there.
Makes sense. Yeah, but no, I didn't watch too much of this one.
Yeah. Screw that game. Let's talk about the Browns and the Bengals. The Bengals 23-10. Tyler, we thought the Browns could keep it going there. They've been having the Bengals numbers, but they look terrible. I don't even know what's going on with this team. Did you think Deshaun Watson looked good? I didn't.
I thought the massage addict was going to be able to keep it a little bit closer, but no. Thought he was maybe going to be able to win the game. He had no chance in that game.
Yeah.
I think Burrow did his job. I seen P. Ryan got in the end zone. I didn't see much of Mixon. He had a snowflake in my lineup. I know that probably tilted a ton of guys on the DFS side title. Yeah, the other thing was the one play from this game that I did pick out when I was catching all the highlights on the TV watching the Steeler game. The one Burrow touchdown pass to Chase. Chase had no idea that ball was coming.
Put it right in his
turned, and it was like, oh, the ball is in the end zone already, and I got to be ready to catch it. Yeah. Like that was impressive. Do you guys remember that one video? It was from like a D3 school. The dude threw it, and he stuck it right in the guy's arm, and he just ran into the end zone. Like, didn't even know he had it at first. He just stuck it right to his hip.
No, that's what happened, though. He put that right. That was crazy.
And if it wasn't for the two guys ahead of him in the MVP race, just one guy's throwing underhand 50-yard touchdown passes, the other guy's just housing every team he plays, I think he'd have a shot at MVP, but it's probably Mahomes and Hurts at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Tiger Woods, when he wasn't banging like 7 prostitutes anymore, when his wife finally caught him, he definitely had a decline. I wonder, right? Does Watson need to be jerked off by random women? Does he need to sexually harass people to be able to perform? Because if that's the case, this could be one of the worst contracts in football. Now, to be fair, it's only 2 games, and I was saying after what I've seen, I don't think he's going to be good till next year. So this is a throwaway, but it was definitely a step back for the Cleveland Browns. Bengals do what they need to do. Anything else from that game, guys, or do you want to just move on?
The only thing, Watson, I'm looking ahead to next year. I mean, it's coming to the situation, hasn't played in however many days, didn't get all the reps. Like, it's the offseason, get the whole year, start off when it's pretty warm out, not going to chill. I mean, I just reset the whole season, and we'll see about Deshaun. I'm not writing him off, but I'm definitely not backing him this year.
I think this year you just go off what you've seen, and he's a bottom 10 quarterback right now.
And that affects the whole offense. Nick Chubb, all of them. I mean, this team was better percent because they played to their identity. Play defense, run the football, get ahead, eat the clock a little bit, play action, and just do it that way. And this team's not doing that much.
Well, they weren't that good. They were like, 5-6? I mean, it's not like they were.
It feels like they're more competitive.
In the chat.
That's true. What's up?
How do you feel about our guy Robert comment in the chat? Mahomes not even on Hurts level this year. I think that's a bit far.
Yeah,
one guy's leading the league in passing touchdowns and passing yards.
And Hurts has almost everything perfect. He has the best offensive line. AJ Brown's at
absolute. Oh, don't be. Hey, we'll get to talking perfect when we get to San Fran. Don't be saying perfect. Yes, Fred.
Another tough day for a Jimmy G tractor.
I know. I've been waiting for this situation.
What were they calling him on Twitter? They were calling him on Twitter Big Cock Brock.
Yeah,
but on Sports Gambling,
they'd be calling Big Cock Spread, and Spread was sitting behind that offensive line with McCaffrey and Debo and all them.
Yeah, but Sports Gambling Podcast had a good one. They like Brock Hard better. I think I agree with those guys.
I seen somebody calling him Glock Purdy.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a game that almost really upset the apple cart. The Houston Texans. They should have won that game, bro. They should have beat the Cowboys straight up.
That's good. They
fucking
didn't.
Great. They didn't spread because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be peddling for change because that's the only bet I won all weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Good for you. I was just thinking the Texans won. I didn't realize that I didn't have anything involved in it at all. So
we had Pollard to score a touchdown and then win the game. We thought it was the freest bet of the week. He walked in the end zone first. Then they proceeded to almost lose the game. It was not fun. It was not.
Do we downgrade the Cowboys at all, or is this just a complete whatever?
This is exactly what Kurt said it was on Friday, that the Cowboys just come into games like this and they try a bunch of dumb shit. They tried a bunch of dumb shit and look what happened. They almost lost the game.
What do you think, Tyler? Are you downgrading the Cowboys after this performance, or do we just throw it out?
I mean, it's just the NFC. Like, I really like the Eagles. I said Cowboys are second. I mean, maybe our 49ers second now, but like, it's just the NFC really isn't great. They play good defense. I think it was a letdown game for sure. I mean, Cowboys came out, punched them in the mouth, and they turned over the football. And then the Texans just, since that turnover, Texans scored, and they just hung in there the whole time. They're playing the college, I don't know, you can't even call it the college system or whatever, but mixing in Driscoll, Mills, like they're playing the two quarterback stuff. It was just a really weird game at the end of the day. The Cowboys didn't seem to get up for it, played down to their competition, found a way to win, though, which is good. Do you downgrade them? I don't know. Like I said, I already had Eagles ahead of them. That doesn't change. Are the 49ers now ahead of them? That's the question, I guess. But no, I'm not doing it. At the end of the day, I've had the same thoughts. Mike McCarthy's the coach. He'll find a way to lose an important football game.
Yeah, I mean, you can call me Luigi. I was taking L's left and right yesterday. And another loss I took there was for my team tough guy coaches, right? You know, I just love the coaches that look like they'll just kick a player's ass. Yeah, we're talking about Mike Vrabel. As he lost to Trevor Lawrence, Goldilocks, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, you know I'm happy because I like Jacksonville, right? I want them to be good. I want Trevor Lawrence to be good. So that wasn't, the worst thing. But I thought the Titans were going to smoke this team, and they did. And I thought the Jaguars looked really good. Title, let's start with you. What were your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence? Is he going to end up being a top 10 quarterback before his career's over?
Top 10 quarterback, like
in the league. He'll just be one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league.
Like one of the seasons he'll be top 10?
Yeah.
You're saying they're like, he's going to have I think he'll have top 10 seasons for sure in the league. I mean, I just have never really loved this Titans team, so I'm not surprised with it. The team goes with Derrick Henry, but when you look at the weapons out there, I don't think Tannehill's too special. It wasn't just the offense, though. I mean, Evan Ingram, wow, that dude, what a game from him. Absolutely, if you have him.
He had to be the highest scoring DFS player this week, right?
Oh, yeah. He definitely. I think he had 39. Jefferson had 33 or 36.
I thought he ended on 42.
Oh,
he had 12 catches, $152 and 2.
11, 162 and 2, yeah. So that's 11 right there, 16. That's 27, 2 touchdowns, 12. Yeah, he definitely was the leader on the slate. I mean, I don't really know. In hindsight, I don't really I'm not like you guys. I don't really bet sides too often, spreads and all that too often. But I feel like this would have been a spot I would have been on the Jags. So
see, that's funny. So when I ran the numbers, we had a huge edge on Tennessee. Other than the Eagles, that was our biggest edge of the weekend.
I feel like I've been down on them for weeks now. I remember when we were on this show and they're 7-2 or 7-3 and all. And I'm just like, this team just. I'm
over here just sipping Kool-Aid, getting diabetes because I'm drinking so much Kool-Aid.
Well, I mean, we can flip that on a different team spread, and I could be hyping them up, and you'll be on the right side too. So that's just one of the teams that. So I really wasn't too surprised.
Well, what do we do with the Jaguars, Tyler? I mean, I think it's safe to downgrade the Titans. I mean, we can even say it's injuries, right? The team's not fully healthy, so that's fine. I could try and assuage my feelings that way. How far do we upgrade the Jaguars for this win, though, Tyler?
Not that far, I don't think.
Okay.
I mean. It's just they're both bad teams in my eyes. It's just one has Derrick Henry and a decent coach. Mm-hmm. The other one is still building with a young roster.
I think Peterson's a good coach too, though, right?
He's building. I mean, outside of the Philly thing, watch
Josh McDaniels every week. I think he's good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had Urban Meyer last year, so
I know. Huh?
But I'm with you, Spread. I look at him as maybe that's why though.
The bright spot, though, for the Jags is Trevor Lawrence is definitely coming along because the guy who's supposed to be their running back is MIA.
Yeah.
Etienne, I'm starting to, I'm not going to say he sucks yet, but he's closing in on that range. I think he might be a bust. They might want to go draft maybe the Texas running back, maybe the kid coming out of Alabama. You got to get that position right to help Lawrence out, and I do not think Etienne's it.
All right. Yeah, he had a great start to the year. He's definitely fallen off. A team that had a great start to the year and was falling off. We already talked about the Minnesota Vikings. Do we want to talk about this shit anymore? I mean, let's at least talk about the Lions.
Can we at least say that, all the guys, including me, that were trying to pencil this Lions team in for a chance, we look dead at 1-6.
Yeah.
We look a lot better now.
I guess I have a new tough guy coach to root for, right?
Yeah,
he's team tough guy. He's team tough guy. How much do we upgrade the Lions, Titletown? I mean, we have to, right? Tyler and I haven't been high on this team. We thought the defense was terrible. Panay Sewell's catching touchdown passes. What's up?
I mean, it was just last week when I'm saying that this team it was just last week that I'm saying this Lions team, I'm betting them futures next year. I'm doing all this.
Yeah.
I mean, they got all the talents. Jameson Williams, the team's only going to get better. Now, are they going to make the playoffs this year? They have to, probably win out, I mean, it's still a tall task to do that.
They're live. They're in the NFC.
Yeah,
and that wild card is low hanging fruit.
No, they're definitely live. I mean, they shot themselves in the foot to start the year, but they're really turning on. But like I said, I like Goff. I really like DeAndre Swift when he's healthy. Jamal Williams has played all right. Amra's a complete stud. Jameson Williams, that dude's a complete stud. Chark's playing good ball. The big thing, the defense. I mean, that changes everything. When your defense is playing like they are, Dalvin Cook could get nothing on the ground, 15 for 23. So Cousins just had to drop back. And Lions did all of that with Justin Jefferson putting up 200 plus on them. So I like this Lions team for sure. I mean, I think Goff's better than people think. I think Swift is elite. Their receiving core is absolutely studs, and they're young. They got a coach that fights. They always play hard. I mean, it's a tough team, man. Again, this was another one that really didn't surprise me too much. We just talked about the Lions last week, but I don't know.
I'm not surprised the Lions won. I am pissed about
the questions about the Vikings. Yeah, the big questions about the Vikings, and I mean, I've never. I don't
What's
know.
your question?
What's their playoff outlook? Okay, they're round one. You're just going to keep betting against them in the playoffs.
They are the Steelers from 3 years ago when they were 11-0, and everyone thought they had a better chance. And all of a sudden, playoff rule around, they got punched right in the face in round one.
That's what's going to happen. Had a tough guy coach. They got rid of their tough guy coach. Talk about the ultimate tough guy. He's banging like a 25-year-old.
Can we all
60? How do you get rid of that guy?
And what about the Vikings just random, let's go for 2 when we're down a touchdown to cut it to 6?
I like that. Analytics.
It didn't work. They didn't get it. And then you lose the game by 11.
Well, it doesn't always work. Yeah. No, you do it because then if you're down 8, you just go for 2 again. You get the 2 point, then you're down 6, then you get the field goal for the win. I always like that. But I trust numbers.
The Jets covered against the Bills. That could have been a coin flip, right? They could have gone for it on that 4th down. They kicked the field goal to make it 20-12. Then they rely on their defense. The Bills get it done. Mike White, absolute stud. If he becomes a coach, he'll definitely be in my tough guy. Dude, the guy's getting beat up more than those UFC fighters.
To kill that man yesterday.
I don't know about more than the UFC fighters, Fred, but yeah.
Dog, did you see him? At least the guys in the UFC have their hands up.
Yeah, but what about the times at UFC when one of the ears are dangling by a thread hanging down there?
All right, that's fair. But I mean, it looked like they were breaking him in half on some.
No, he was getting rocked for sure.
Yeah. So hey, and after you got little pussy boy MILF Hunter as your quarterback, I'm sure the team was Mike White. So even though they lost, I feel like the Jets still have to walk out of that stadium feeling pretty good about themselves. The Bills did what they needed to do. They got the win. What are your thoughts on that one? Start with you, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, Bills did their job. They got the win. The Jets defense is one of the best units in the league. I'm not going to say it is the best, but once you start listing them off, I think they're top 5. They keep these high-powered offenses
not better than Niners
under control. No way.
Yeah.
They keep these top offenses under control. They give their teams chances to win. I like Mike White. It's a great story. He's just not the guy that's going to push them over the hump. No quarterback on this roster is. They're the team this year. They're what the Colts wanted to be last year. You look around the league and it's like, we have everything but a quarterback. I think this is where that team just kind of goes in on one of these guys. Maybe it's Rodgers if he doesn't retire. Maybe they call up Derek Carr. The obvious one is Jimmy G. I think they do go out and get one of these vet quarterbacks and this team becomes a problem next year.
Tyler, Clyde's not in the chat. Do you think he's pissed that I was talking shit about him on the last show?
Probably trying to figure out what your name means.
On the last show, I put that Clyde couldn't figure out where I got my gambling name from. Spread Astaire. You know what I'm talking about, right, Title?
I mean, I just assume you're talking about spreads.
You don't know where the Astaire came from?
I have no clue either.
I wasn't going to make a comment on it, but I don't know what your name means either. We've done shows for like 3 years.
When I see spread Astaire, this is like the dude loves bet. The dude bets. He pick a spread. I don't know what Astaire means, and I just kept going on about my day.
I am so old. All right. What were your thoughts on the Bills and the Jets?
I need an answer now.
Well, I don't even know who's like.
So there's a dancer in the 50s. He's like the biggest star. He danced with Ginger Rogers back when like musicals were part of movies, and his name's Fred Astaire. Okay. So when I made my Twitter account, it was just like kind of a.
Is that who your profile picture is on Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Okay.
And he's sitting there with Ginger Rogers, and she's like loving him.
So and then you went spread because like you pick it.
Yeah, it's just like a play on words, right?
All right.
That was back when Spread used to watch movies when they didn't talk in them.
I mean, I do like old movies.
Yeah,
crank the TV to get the movie going. Light the oil lamp.
Take 20 seconds or what? Take a minute to call someone Spread or something?
Yeah.
Tie the note to the pigeon, send it out the window.
All right. Well, I'll have to reach out to Clyde. Tell him no, we want him back in the chat. What were your thoughts on the Bills and the Jets there, Title?
Yeah, I mean it's like the Jets side. I think Mike White's the best quarterback on the team, but I think Zonovan Knight. I like what they're doing. They said Michael Carter's healthy. Zonovan Knight is our guy. I like having the one running back that you trust the most. He looks pretty good. Great defense. They're still, I think, for a couple of years away. I believe the defense is definitely there. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore. It's nice. Running back Breece Hall when he comes back. Yeah, you got to figure out the quarterback position. But man, this team's tough. Robert Saleh.
I mean, there's one answer. Can you imagine what that guy? Yes, it is.
That'll ruin everything you think.
Yes, it is. No. Can you imagine him reuniting with Saleh?
Him playing in the cold weather in New York.
5,000 women pregnant in New York.
I think the guy they want is Rodgers.
Yeah, Rodgers for sure is who they want.
Oh, because former Packers quarterbacks do so great when they go to the Jets.
Hey, Rodgers is not looking like Rodgers, so like maybe that's not the answer.
Do you remember when Favre went there, or am I dating myself again? Favre went to the Jets and was absolutely terrible. The only thing notable from his time there was he sent like a dick pic back on like a flip phone and got.
I mean, that was back when he had 95,000 concussions after the Vikings. The dude was. So
Rodgers is pretty dusty too, bro.
He's looking dusty for sure. But the thing with Favre is he'll throw it to the other team more than his team. At least Rodgers, you can.
Well, Rodgers just throws it out of bounds because he doesn't want to
punt the football and rely on your defense.
Yeah, Brett Favre 3 points by the end of the game. I'd rather have the gunslinger.
You don't want Jimmy. No, you do not want Brett. Okay, I'm not even going to get into.
All right, here's the ultimate like.
Do you think that Aaron Rodgers is better than
scenario
by a million times?
Brett Favre is a better player. Brett Favre is better.
Here's the perfect WWE scenario for Spread.
What?
Brady rolls into New York and wins a Super Bowl with the Jets.
He's not. You know where Brady's going, right?
Brady's going to the Niners.
No, he's not.
Brady's going back home and retiring.
No, he's not.
He's going to.
Why in the hell would he come to Vegas to get mauled behind that offensive line?
To chill with Josh McDaniels.
No, he's going home.
He wanted to go to Vegas before. Old people go to Vegas to retire.
Going home.
He should go home and watch football on the couch on Sundays.
Elvis retired in Vegas?
That home doesn't exist anymore, Title. He's going to San Fran.
No.
Dude, did you see his new girl?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad in life. I don't think he's missing Giselle.
Well, is he ever gonna? It's Tom Brady we're talking.
Her bank account don't like Giselle's though. I don't think.
Can you imagine you're Brady and you're just sitting there like just swooping up on all Kurt's leftovers? Unbelievable! What a life. All right. Anything more on the Bills and the Jets before we keep going?
I mean, the Jets dropped out of the wild card picture right now, and another team we'll talk about took that 7 seed.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about them. But before we get to do one victory lap, Tyler, we had one game right. We said the Eagles were going to smash the Giants. We said that was the biggest edge on the playbook. Hallelujah. We finally won something, and it was easy. The Eagles put the Giants in their place. Tyler, you've been saying the Giants have been frauds all along. I don't think they're frauds, but they just can't compete against playoff teams. Let them just keep beating up the mediocre teams. And in this year's NFL, there's plenty of mediocre for them to beat up on. But going against the class, we saw what really happened. No weapons equals no points equals getting blown out. Tyler, Eagles, Giants, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much here. Hurts probably, I'm not going to say locked up the MVP, but he made himself the favorite yesterday. The team just chugs along, and until they play a Dallas or a team that's going to put a fight up against them, and I think Dallas is the only team in the NFC that will, they're just going to cruise against these teams unless they take their foot off the gas. So just expect more wins like this and until they play that Dallas matchup, and that's not coming this week. They play the Bears this week. They're going to do this again this week.
All right. What were your thoughts on the Eagles win there, Title?
Yeah, not surprised. Eagles, best team in the NFC. Giants, I thought they've been overrated as well. The Giants just don't have the weapon. Saquon was limited. Like, it was a really tall task to start. I'm asking you, both you guys, Jalen Hurts is going to play through week 17, right? Play all week 17, sit out week 18?
Because the team that was going to catch them for the 1 seed was Minnesota.
Yeah.
They can't catch them now.
I don't think you let your guys sit for 3 weeks, though.
That's the thing. I have a nice 3 more weeks of best ball left. I'm sitting. I got a chance for a big
probably
one right now,
week 18, but not.
I think there's a possibility he sits the second half of week 17, all of week 18.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair too. Yeah, that's a point. And if you're doing fantasy, that's going to be an issue. Yeah, so we'll see. That Minnesota loss was rough. Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, who do not cover against the Broncos. What a surprise. The Chiefs hate covering. They hate covering. If ATS mattered, Patrick Mahomes would have no shot at the MVP. He's still the best player in football, in my opinion. But that Chiefs defense actually made the Broncos look somewhat good. Wow, that was kind of a shock. It looked like it was going to be a blowout. I think it was 21-0 at one point. Russell Wilson, hey, it gives them some life. But then once again, the Broncos and their fans walk out as losers. This team is in trouble, not just this year, but for many years. Talk about a dust ball at quarterback. Wilson is not looking good. He's lost his athleticism, and that deep ball's no longer there. Title, were you surprised the Broncos were able to cover?
I definitely was, especially was it 27-0 to start the game or something?
Yeah,
it was definitely surprised. I mean, you don't see Mahomes throw 3 interceptions every day. I agree with you. He's the best player in football. He continues to surprise me. Those 3 interceptions, I think it was Surtain made a great play on one of them. I was surprised. I mean, the defense made a great play on, I think, one. I know one of them. The other 2 I can't think of in my head right now. But, yeah, I was surprised that the Broncos covered, that they were able to put up 28, that they actually made it the game for a little while. But Chiefs did what the Chiefs do. They got to be the favorites. I mean, this Mahomes, Kelsey. I mean, I like Pacheco. I'm finally happy that they went to the one running back I was calling for a while. However, Jerick McKinnon, that dude might take over. It'll be 2 guys, McKinnon and Pacheco. Pacheco when they're leading, the workhorse there, and McKinnon catching passes on 3rd down, 2-minute drill. But I like it. Cut Clyde out of the situation. I thought they had to nail down that running back position more. Everything with the Chiefs going on right now. Defense got to shore up a little bit. You don't like giving up 28 to the Broncos, but this is the team to beat, I think.
All right, Richie Smalls says he's got 3 out of 7 teams headed to the best ball playoffs, all in first place. We know why, right, Title? Richie's got that mojo. He hits the thumbs up every single time he comes in. He even reminds the other chatters to hit the thumbs up. He's got the good mojo. I'll bet you by the end of the season, he's going to be talking about 3 best ball victories there. Richie Smalls with the great mojo and great job doing that. Tyler, what were your thoughts on my guy Mahomes and the Chiefs getting the win but not covering?
Yeah, I mean, they looked great in my eyes. They ran it up real quick. They got up to 27, and it was almost like they sat back and said, catch us.
Yeah.
And they just let Denver kind of work their way up and down the field. Russ got the couple quick touchdowns. I don't know what exactly happened that Jerry Jeudy decided he was going to rip his helmet off and scream at the ref and chest bump him, and the ref looked at him and ran away. That is one angry dude right now. Didn't even flag the man. He was like, I'm getting away from this guy before he kills me. And then Jerry Jeudy caught 3 touchdowns. So whatever pissed him off, if I was Denver, I'd piss him off again every week for the rest of the season. Because if he's going to play like that.
Like Bobby Portis, who pretends that his opponent slapped his mom before every game.
Yeah, I don't know what got into him after that, but 3 touchdowns later, the dude had 40 fantasy points.
I'll bet you it's going to come out him and Bobby Portis are friends all of a sudden, because it seems like something that Bobby Portis would help him out with. So, hey, we've been waiting for this guy to break out, though, right, Tyler? We've been high on Jeudy, and we really haven't been getting a return on our
investment. And I'm not even sure it's a full breakout if it was just a 1-game thing. And then as for the Chiefs, I mean, they look great. It was a division team they usually beat up on.
Yeah.
When they play these tougher teams in the AFC, though, I'm not sure their weapons are going to keep them in games. It's going to be strictly Mahomes beating these teams. Can he? Very well could. He's the best quarterback in the league. But if those games become neck and neck and say Buffalo's weapons are just tearing them up, is Mahomes going to be able to keep up? I'm not sure.
I think he will. Let's talk about this question from our guy, Shark Killer G. Coming out here killing sharks. I got a dog on it to take care of. Won't stop barking. There's no way Russell Wilson is this horrific. Nathaniel Hackett needs to be one and done, and that's it. What do you think? Are the Broncos' problems Russ, or are they the coaching? Title?
All of them. Send everyone out. I saw a tweet from someone in the industry, Wilson, He said, if I was a guy, GM gone, Russ gone, Hackett gone, everything gone, rebuild, reboot, whatever it takes. It'll take a little while, but this ain't winning anything.
You're moving the team.
No, that's the one thing you don't do. They got a good spot. They got loyal fans, but everything else besides moving the team, change the jerseys, do whatever you got to do. But you got to start something new.
Those are bad jerseys. I never liked them as a kid. Russell Wilson or Hackett? What's the true problem here in Denver?
All of it. I agree with Title. Just burn it down and restart from the bottom.
Yeah.
The problem with that is when you burn it down, you're burning it down for like 3 years because you have no draft picks.
It's probably
and you have no salary cap.
10 years. You're screwed. But I mean, what, you just want to keep doing this every single year? Like
they haven't burned it down in forever. I swear they've been.
How do you burn it down with that bomb ass defense though?
Well, that's the thing.
You're so close.
Well, that's the thing though, is they've had a defense for the past, I swear, like 12 to 15 years. When's the last time Denver's defense has been the defense you pinpointed just target?
Yeah, no, it's always been.
Yeah.
It's Elway wanting to keep this team just towards the top and trying to plug in any quarterback he can get his hands on. It worked with Manning, even though the year Manning actually looked good, they didn't win it. And the year his neck almost fell off and Brock Osweiler had to play, they did win. He tried to do the same thing here with Russ. If it doesn't work here, he's just going to get rid of Russ and try it again. You got to get rid of everything and try and build this team through the draft.
Tyler, one thing that disappointed me this weekend was one of my favorite stories of the year. I don't know if he's team tough guy, but he's one of my favorite coaches because he's just a badass and he's like 78 years old. Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. What a great story. It was so heartwarming, right? Just, this, feels like a Hallmark movie. Yeah, that's over. They lose to the Panthers. Another one I was disappointed on. The model liked the Seahawks there. They liked him at home. And it felt like the Panthers defensive backs played really well. It felt like Geno Smith was thrown into coverage every single time. Give J.C. Horn some credit. He did a great job on Tyler Lockett and Metcalf. He was drawing both assignments there. I want to give their Panthers the credit, but I'm really sad that my favorite story came to an end pretty early. Tyler, what were your thoughts on the Seahawks?
Yeah, I mean, they just couldn't run the ball. You had Travis Homer and Tony Jones back there, no Kenneth Walker.
That guy's a big deal, huh?
It was all Smith, and they knew that. They were able to pressure him. He threw a few picks. He got sacked a couple times. The receivers did look good. Lockett made a great catch in the end zone for that one touchdown where he got his one toe in.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they just couldn't stop Carolina on the other side. Foreman had a decent game. They were running all three running backs. Hubbard was in there. Blackshear got a touchdown. Their defense isn't good, and it was their offense that had to keep them in games. And without a run game, they weren't able to do it here.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker means that much.
Playoff picture in the NFC. They lose their wild card spot now, and Washington jumps up in. Now the entire wild card in the NFC is the NFC East. The Cowboys, Washington, and New York right now.
Unbelievable. I would have never thought that before the season. Remember when we were doing those season previews and we made every Giants and Jets game an L?
Yep.
We had them going like 0-34. Title, what were your thoughts there on the Seahawks, man? Are you as sad as me? Are you rooting for the old guy like I am? Are you team Geno?
I was not rooting for the old guy like you were.
You will one day. Get to me in 20 years.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. It's Seahawks did not.
You already moved to a retirement community.
Yeah, and I'm still young.
You're probably surrounded by 70-year-olds out there in Scottsdale. You guys are you're golfing every day with a bunch of 70-year-olds, not rooting for Pete Carroll. Unbelievable. There's definitely
a lot of them at the gym and around that. There's no doubt about that. One takeaway was Marquise Goodwin. This dude needs a role, an every down role on some team. The dude's a speedster. The dude makes plays. Every time I see the guy in the field, he's doing something right. So that was a takeaway from this game. But Panthers, man, I mean, they established the line of scrimmage. They were able to manage the clock. They played great defense. They were flying around the field. This Seahawks team isn't great. This Panthers team fought. I mean, just because a franchise wants to lose, the owners want to lose and stuff, doesn't mean the players really want to. Like, my question is so the Panthers, they're 5-8. Like, they don't have a quarterback. Their receiving core is not very good. They don't have they don't really have anything except some talent on the defensive end. Like, what is their plan going forward? Because they're 5-8. They've overachieved all year. and and you look at the roster and it looks like one of the worst ones in the NFL. Like, what's their plan? Is my question.
They got a ton of draft picks from McCaffrey trade. I mean, they can rebuild this thing. I mean, really, any team is just a quarterback away. And you say, oh, well, they don't have the number 1 pick. Well, Josh Allen went 8. It's not like you need to have the number 1 pick to get a good quarterback, right? I mean, Herbert went 6.
I mean, but I think it's possible. All right, DJ Moore, Laviska Shenault, Terrence Marshall, Shi Smith. They're more than a quarterback away. Like, you can't.
Looking at roster-wise, I think Houston's the only team worse than them farther away. They just have nothing.
You said Houston's worse than Carolina in a worse spot?
Yeah, I'd say Houston's the one team that's in a worse spot. Like, when you look at their roster, it's like, what are we going for here? And Houston's just – they have nothing, and I think Carolina has 2 guys. They have DJ Moore, and they have J.C. Horn.
And they have they have that Brian Burns guy. Really, they have a good defensive line. I don't think the defense is that bad.
Well, the defense,
how much longer is he going to be? They were trying to poach him away so bad at the trade deadline. I wouldn't be surprised if Burns is dealt in the offseason.
They were asking for 2 firsts.
Some team's going to get that guy. I'm telling you, they ain't going to pay him.
All right. Well, we'll
Someone said Rams are in the worst spot. Yeah, Rams are in a tough spot too.
Rams are just
Broncos are in a worse spot because they have Russell Wilson. Broncos. Arizona, title, you and all your 80-years aren't going to be able to root for the Cardinals and Kyler.
They
suck too. They suck too.
I'll take the Cardinals spot over these guys.
Just to touch on the Rams, because we didn't get to talk about them. They played on Thursday. If there's
are we talking about that again?
That could just be like, listen, we know you like to just try and do too much, but we're going to walk you through these plays, and you're going to throw the ball where we tell you to. I think he's the one coach that could get Baker just somewhat decent play.
There's probably like some coaches, but I agree. McVay's one of them.
He only has a couple more games.
McVay is definitely.
He ain't playing over Stafford, or you just think Stafford's going to be gone?
I think Stafford's, even if he plays next year, I think that elbow, you've seen it this year, it was pretty inaccurate. He was throwing a ton of picks. I think he's pretty much on his way out.
Stafford's had
but again, like I was talking about this with my buddies, even though they traded all their draft picks away, they're in a terrible spot. They won the ring. So it's like, in the end,
worth it for sure.
Would you trade the ring to be subpar and maybe make a Super Bowl for 6 years?
Yes, I'm a Raiders fan.
Would you just take the
ring?
Yeah, you're taking the ring, and then you could suck for the next 10 years.
Yeah, 100%. No, you always take the ring. Is how I look at it. I mean, that's why you play. That's why you play at any sport.
Well, one man that has one less ring now is Tom Brady. Still got those 6 Super Bowl rings, or 7. I don't even know how many he has. Can't even keep track. Anyways, they look terrible. And you know what was terrible, Tyler? It was a terrible day for Jimmy G truthers because Purdy looked good, bro. I mean, like, it wasn't just like, oh, it's part of the system. He was moving in the pocket. He was making beautiful throws. He was extending plays. Bro, tough day for me as a Jimmy G truther.
One question for you, just to over the whole situation. Whatever made you think it was not the system? Look at all the guys that have played in San Francisco over the past
because they're 8-28 without him. Well, now they're 9-28.
I want to know how many other guys that 8-28. I want to know how many of those other guys were out. Like, was that the year their defense was just destroyed by injuries when they won like 2 games and drafted Bosa? Like, there's got to be other things playing into that because we've seen Nick Mullins, we've seen Beathard, even Lance somewhat stepped into the system and played decent. And now the kid that wasn't even supposed to be drafted. They literally picked him with the last pick in the draft. They said, they looked around the room and they said, let's go. He played decent in the system. I think it's all the system.
I'm in hell. I can't argue. What do you say now? What do I say? He banged a bunch of hot waitresses. I mean, I got no arguments left. Title, take your victory lap.
No, I mean, everything that you guys have been saying is what I've said the whole time. The thing is, Jimmy G is fit the system a lot better than a lot of quarterbacks. You don't make mistakes. You get the ball out quick. That's how you do it. Now, I think Purdy looked better in the system than Purdy played better than Jimmy G could have yesterday with the.
How much of that is that Tampa just sucks though?
But the thing is also when you have McCaffrey back there, which means so much. Debo banged up little, Kittle he was doing the exact thing Jimmy G done. That's what this does. That's what the system does. Run the football well. Defense has to sell out for it. Stack the box more. You have more one-on-one weapons. You get Ayuk, a 10-yard hitch route, spins, he takes it 15 yards more. Like, you just have so many weapons. They're just so talented. And not only talking about that, you have that defense on the other side that just doesn't let up points. You get good field position. You're up 21. You can, like, this team's tough. It's not. So that's everything I've been saying about Jimmy G. And that's why I'm saying you don't want him in New York, because I don't think it's the same system. I don't think it's the same talent around him in the offensive end. And that's where you need the quarterback to make more plays. So I'm not ready to say Purdy's the guy that's good. I mean, I still have questions about Purdy and this whole offense in general. And they play better teams. They get in the playoffs. Close game. Is he big for the moment? Like, I still have questions, but it was really nice to see, if you're a 49ers fan, the system is, the system's there for sure. Don't make mistakes. Get the ball out. Don't have negative plays. Stay ahead of the chains, and you're a tough team to beat for sure. So that's all I got to say, Spread.
All the tough guy coaches lost, and then Jimmy G truthers go to hell with Brock Purdy. I mean, not just statistically. You watched, he looked better. He made moves in the pocket. The throws were beautiful. He had poise. Oh my gosh!
And I know we just gave him shit for being the last pick in the draft, but like, I remember watching him at Iowa State. He played with David Montgomery for those couple of years before he got into the league before him. The dude was never all that bad. Like, freshman year, he threw 220 passes, completed 146 of them for 2,250 yards, 16 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Gets the starting job the next year, 475 attempts, 312 completions, 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
That's good.
Then 2,700 yards, 19 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So he dropped back a little bit there. And then his senior year, he threw for 3,200 yards, 19 and 8. So the dude was always a solid quarterback. It was just now he gets plugged into a perfect system. Like,
I was watching him a little. I liked him. No, I was just gonna say, I watched a little more Iowa State because one of my buddies played with Brock Purdy. Actually, he was on Iowa State, so I watched him more than usual. That's how I known Alan Lazard for so long now on the Packers. I was like, man, like I've always thought he was a solid quarterback. Now there's just so many of them in college, and like how the numbers are so inflated, so you never know. But yeah, I mean, it's not like this guy has ever been a bum. So I'm totally with you, Tyler.
All right. There you go. Are you guys done victory lapping me? You ready to get to Sunday night?
I cut off Tyler. I'm sorry. You didn't finish what you were about to say. But
I completely forget what I was going to say, Tyler. So we can go to Sunday night.
Time for Sunday night slander. Tua, you are going to be
Where's our guy Travis at?
Where is Travis? Oh, Clyde's back in the chat. He's not mad at me. Glad to see you back. I'm glad we were able to go through that rough spot together, Clyde. But it's time for some Tua slander, man. I've been saying all year. You guys go, oh, Jimmy G. But Tua's an MVP. What the heck? How is he not a product of the system? Unbelievable. In order for him to look good, you had to give him like the best wide receiver core since Tim Brown and Jerry Rice back in 2002 were together. Unbelievable. The best, great coach, great running game, good offensive line, but Tua's an MVP candidate. And you guys were throwing my guy Jimmy G. You were trying to send him to the crappy strip clubs out in Santa Clara. Unbelievable. Now, the truth has come to light. The Chargers of all teams went ahead and exposed these frauds, the Miami Dolphins. I've said it all along. They're going to look great in September. They're going to look good in October. And it wasn't even cold weather, so wait till they go to Buffalo next week. Miami Dolphins get exposed on Sunday Night Football. Title, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I've never been as sold to Tua. I still say Tua noodle arm, all of this stuff. Like, I still have those little concerns, but when you just run a slant route and then Tyreek can take it for 60 yards or Waddle, or you get the ball out fast, like, I totally agree with you, Spread, that he's a product of his own system. I'm not totally sold on him at all that he is a star quarterback wherever he goes. I do not think that's the case at all. Now, these Chargers, they were beat up on the defensive end a bit. Whoever was hurt, Derwin James, he's got to play a little bit. But besides him, like, those starters should now be backups because this defensive unit, they flew around the field, they played hard, they played with aggression. Like, I've never seen this Chargers defense so good. They stopped the run, they were flying around in the secondary, and that's always what we've talked about with the Chargers. I mean, Herbert's going to put up points. Mike Williams now healthy. Keenan Allen getting healthier. There's Eckler. Like, this is the team we've always loved on the offensive end. If they fly around like that on defense, the hardest thing with the Chargers, and of course the record, it won't matter too much now, is they just don't have home field advantage. Like every single game, they're playing either on the road or at neutral, even when they're at home, which is so brutal for them. But man, this offense is going to put up points. This defense can get going. We always talk about it. No one wants to see this team in the playoffs. So it's just the defensive side of the ball that really stuck out to me.
Tyler, Sunday Night Slander, your turn.
I mean, can we just talk about how this team should have scored 3 points? Tyreek Hill picked up a fumble that popped out of the pile and housed it. He also caught a ball where the corner was sliding on his face down the sideline. So outside of that, Tua went 10 for 28 for $145, and this team's supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. Where was that legit defense that they're supposed to have? I mean, Herbert just lit them up left and right. They were able to run the ball too. This team, and just like you said, they're traveling to Buffalo this week. They're getting pounded into the ground for a third week straight. I think San Fran laid the blueprint on how to stop this offense. And now every team in the league that's going to play them from here on out is going to go, oh, this is exactly how we stop this defense or this offense. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but they limited Waddle to barely nothing in that game. If you could take one of those guys out and just leave it one weapon, they can't really run the ball. Jeff Wilson got carted off with a hip injury. My guess is he's done. So it's back to just Mostert. This team's done. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost out and missed the playoffs.
Wow. Clyde says, I got Williams, Allen, Eckler on my fantasy, and he calls me a satire. So now I'm just a satire. I'm not even a serious guy. I'm a satire. Unbelievable. All right. That's enough slander for us. But, hey, it was good to be right about something, right, Tyler? We've been telling you this team isn't good. And I guess it's a win for team tough guy coaches, right? Because that defense looks soft without Brian Flores, right? And that's the same group of guys. Same group of guys looking pretty soft yesterday. Maybe they need a tough guy back in charge. Get these play callers. Get them back to offensive coordinator where they belong. I want tough guy coaches. This is the National Football League. Let's talk about tonight, the New England Patriots. They got a team tough guy coach. Bill Belichick refusing to talk. Strong but silent, like the old movies. -2.5 in Arizona, taking on the Cardinals. Total is 44. Tyler, let's start with you. How do we approach this game from a betting perspective? I want to bet the Patriots, but let's be honest. I'm not even thinking clearly. I got my ass kicked yesterday betting, and I hate Kyler Murray. What do you think?
Yeah, the more I look at it, I want to be on your side too. I want to look into it a little bit more before I actually place a bet. I haven't gotten fully into the game. Just initial look, though, Ramondre Stevenson should be able to eat this run defense up. And if Damian Harris plays also, it's just going to be tough for them to stop both the backs. Looking at the injury report, he's doubtful, so it's looking like it's just going to be Ramondre Stevenson. He could still eat this team up just on his own. They're coming off the loss to Buffalo on Thursday night with extended time to prepare for this game. I got to take the Patriots. I think Belichick just kind of game plans, get Hopkins out of it. Kyler Murray throws a couple picks, gets it pressured all game, and they're just able to coast to a win. So give me the Patriots.
All right. I'm loving what I'm hearing. Team tough guy takes on pretty boy play caller. What do you think, Title?
I mean, I'm seeing the first thing that stuck out to me diving into this game was the Cardinals are just so depleted on their offensive line. I think they're missing 4 of their 5 starters.
Oh, wow.
If I'm seeing
That's
this right. Yeah, if I'm seeing this right. So, man, I mean, 4 of your 5 starters against the Patriots team. They're going to run the football with Stevenson. They're going to get after Kyler. Kyler has the legs. If someone can do it, he can escape the pocket. He gets Hollywood back, so he has Hollywood, D-Hop. Unfortunately, they're without Rondale Moore, so Greg Dortch, he slides into that slot role. He's played really good in the slot this year with Kyler. He's put up good DFS points, so I like looking at him at 2,200 in DFS. I love the Stevenson's call for sure. I think Stevenson captain. It's definitely going to get ownership, but man, they're without Jacoby Myers.
You see where he's priced at too?
Yeah, I wish it was a lot higher because he's just going to be mega. Like he should be 2,000 more.
So are you still going for him? In captain title?
No, I'm not. You got to get different in the captain spot.
Just I don't mean to cut you off before you're breaking this down, but just came across my phone. The Dolphins had heaters out last night in LA. 55 degrees. They had heaters out. They play in Buffalo on Saturday night. Put the house on Buffalo.
I can't wait till tomorrow. Are we even going to talk NBA tomorrow with Travis, or are you just going to victory lap that poor guy the whole time?
I'm tearing into the Dolphin lover.
What's the line? Is
7.
it out yet? 7. Yeah. No, so
not a fan of Flipper.
I just wouldn't go. I don't love people in chat saying Hunter Henry. I mean, sure. If you want Hunter Henry, I'm good with him. I like going, even though I like the Patriots. I'm worried about the offensive line. I think the Cardinals just throw a lot. I'm not a James Conner guy. I think they're going to chuck the ball a lot. I love getting Greg Dortch in there. I love Kyler's upside. And it looks like DeAndre Hopkins is he's not going to be as low as I thought. At the captain, DeAndre Hopkins is not going to be played. 11.6K, 400 more than Kyler. He's the most expensive on the slate. I think that's probably my favorite route to go. D-Hop at the captain.
Well, I'm making it right now. Who's my captain? D-Hop?
Yep.
You're not worried that Belichick always takes the best player away?
I'm not with Hollywood back there, with Dortch in the slot as well. There's Connor. I don't think they're just going to sell out the stop, because if they do,
Hopkins the guy that can make catches in coverage too.
And I think
my thing is I think they bracket them and just single coverage the other guys.
See, I think that'd be a mistake again. Especially because Hollywood can get open. There's Dortch, who I think solid too. But if you're playing man or you're doubling on the outside, and you need a spy on Kyler at the end of the day. If you're
I agree there, but just like you said, the 4 or 5 offensive linemen,
that's scary.
The 2 guys that would be single covered in the situation have to get down the field to get open. He might not have time for these guys to get open at that. So if you bracket his best weapon and his other 2 are forced 15 yards down the field before they get open, they might be in the backfield already chasing him around.
Well, I mean, if he escapes those guys, then what?
Oh, then yeah, now you're in deep trouble.
It's a 50-yard run, because so I just don't know how many. Because I mean, if they're going to need a spy on, which is another body there, which I just think it'll be harder to do the bracket. So I'm seeing D-Hop. I think it will come in sub 10% in the captain spot right now. Maybe ownership's wrong. It's still very early. Check the Showdown show as always. They deep dive and look a lot farther, but D-Hop low owned in the captain spot should be trailing, I think, as well. Man, I really like that spot. Kyler would be my second guy, and then Greg Dortch. 3 Cardinals right there. And looking at the initial builds right now, let me see. 4-2. It looks like 3-3 will probably be the most popular. Maybe 4-2 will go Cardinals, but someone will play Patriots in the captain spot. I think go D-Hop captain, Kyler, and then Dortch. Definitely gets you on a pretty unique build to start, and you have some money left over.
All right, title. There you have it. Can I throw one thing in there? How long does the guy get to keep the Hollywood nickname? Looking at his stats, he should be Rancho Cucamonga Brown.
He's been
Hollywood Brown. You're the third best player on your team.
He's been Hollywood since college, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been Hollywood for as long as I've known him.
Wow. That shows you how bad the movies have fallen off. Tyler, what do you got for props for tonight's game?
Yeah, I mean, definitely my favorite one. He hasn't gotten the end zone in forever. I think he does get in this week. Give me Stevenson to score a touchdown.
And Patriots win?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go that route, but I'm just giving the touchdown.
We got our he doesn't want to sweat out them Cowboys again.
No, yeah, we got our face caved in over the weekend spread. We're not. We don't want to tie it to too many things.
Oh my gosh, can you believe? Hey, at least we're honest about it, right? I mean, we don't come on here and say we win every single week.
Yeah, I'm going to pedal change after this.
Yeah, no, you still got.
Actually, I'm going to rip the.
You're going to buy a new freaking car.
I'm going to rip the couch cushions off so I can enter some DFS lineups.
Unbelievable! This
gotta find some change. I got to get in that 25-cent.
In the words of the great Young Ma, get money out broke, Tyler, and you're living up to it. Title. Anything more on this game before we move on? Do you have a side? If I bet Patriots -2.5, what do you think of my bet?
I don't. I wouldn't touch either side. What's the total?
44.
I lean the over in the dome. I think we can see some points being scored. I think the Cardinals put up some points, and I know the Patriots will put up some points. I mean, man, it just feels like Stevenson. That's the thing. Like, he's gonna be so chalky. Like, I just cannot touch, especially a running back in the captain spot like that. He does catch passes, but usually the receivers have higher ceilings. So I can't touch it at captain. But man, it just feels like with no Jacoby Myers, no Damian Harris. Like
how are you playing these pass catchers for New England? Are you just kind of
it
low
looks like
percentage, run them through, how they drop in? Is there a guy you prefer?
It looks like Tyquan Thornton's definitely going to be the most popular at 1.4K. I like probably, if I was playing multiple lineups and doing that, I think he'd be my least favorite just with the ownership. And going Aguilar and Devontae Parker. Now, again, this ownership I'm looking at might not be right. If the ownership is pretty similar, I like Aguilar. I don't know what is telling me with Aguilar. I think he's going to be the lowest owned of the three. He's been running a ton of routes. He ran a ton of routes even when Jacoby Myers was mixed in there. Now with him out, I mean, I think he's playing 80% plus of snaps, and Mac Jones likes him a little bit. 3 targets last game, but 8 the game before. I don't know. I think Aguilar would be my favorite with ownership considered.
I like that because I also think their one good corner, Byron Murphy, goes to Parker or Thornton.
Parker. Yeah. Does Byron Murphy shadow a lot?
A decent bit, but it's usually when there's like a star on the field. I don't think he shadows much tonight. He might just stay on his side of the field tonight.
Yeah, makes sense. But Parker would be the guy. He plays on the outside, their biggest threat. That would be the guy that if he did go anyone. So at the end of the day, not the strongest lean. I think ownership would kind of be the push me in a certain direction. I would take one of the lower owned guys, how I'd see it.
All right. So in summary, I'm taking team tough guy, Bill Belichick over pretty boy play caller. I'm going to take the Patriots -2.5. Title said I'm just basically playing, flipping a coin, playing some blackjack. That might be true.
You know more than me.
Tyler, no, this is not a educated bet. This is I just want to root against Kyler Murray bet. And I want to root for guys that are my age. Tyler's taking Ramondre Stevenson anytime touchdown, and Title is starting his captain with DeAndre Hopkins. Who are you filling it with? And Greg Dortch and
Kyler Murray.
And
if you want a fourth one,
I'll have something on the both sides when I do that lineup. So I'll be playing it both ways, right?
Say that again.
If I bet on the Patriots, but then I play that lineup, I'll kind of be playing both ways.
Yeah, but you can also, this game script, the best script would be Patriots jump out early. It's up 14-0 and then pass. So that's
we're kind of there arm in arm. Although, like I said, this was not like a breakdown. But hey, what better way to spend all my NBA winnings than by losing it on NFL? Good thing the RPB tags have been absolutely crushing on the NBA Bets Playbook. Let me give that a shout out real quick. If you're not a member of RunPureSports.com, we have an NFL betting playbook, which is good for the first 13 weeks. A little rough last week, but hey, these things happen. And then, of course, the NBA betting playbook just continues to print. It's been the source of my joy all weekend as I got my teeth kicked in by the National Football League. But we don't give up. We don't quit. That's why we're here talking touchdowns. Guys, give us a thumbs up. We'll be back talking touchdowns on Friday. We'll have Kurt here. Kurt's going to talk to us. He's probably dated some of Tom Brady's girlfriends now. He's going to give us a lowdown on how they're going to impact his performance and, of course, break it down from an offensive lineman's perspective. Of course, we do have NBA rundown all week. They're going to be at 12 Eastern for the next 2 days so I can deal with the Christmas rush. We're having some fun there, but we keep giving winners. That's what we do here at Run Pure. We're never get discouraged by a bad week. We just expect to win even more. So, Title, thank you for joining us. Tyler and I will be back tomorrow morning, and boy, we're going to be giving it to Travis. So if you like Smack Talk, make sure you're tuned in at 12 Eastern for NBA Rundown. Probably be talking a little bit of touchdowns or the lack of touchdowns from that Miami Dolphins offense.
And our guy Native saying in the chat they got an NHL show tomorrow here also, or it's on the Bets channel. He's saying in the chat.
We have an NHL show now?
Yeah, I believe it's him, our guy JC Zargos, and I can't remember the other guy's name that was on that panel yesterday.
Tanner Smith.
That's fantastic,
that was it,
dude.
yep.
Wow, we just keep growing here at Run Pure. That's great. So I'm glad I don't have to do an NHL playbook. I know that for sure.
Yeah, I know about 3 NHL players, and they all play for the Penguins.
Yeah, I know one. His name's Wayne Gretzky, and he's supposed to be he retired before you guys were born. Title, give us some words of wisdom before we get out.
NBA tonight, NFL tonight. Lots of money to be made. I'll be on the NBA show. Check out, if you didn't check out the rundown show you guys did already right before this, check that out as well. NBA, NFL, tough weekend, but guess what? You can always get it right back. 2 sports, bunch of money to be made today. So ready to get back.
Some NFL news before you cut this. We're getting Desmond Ridder for the rest of the year because Marcus Mariota.
We knew that.
Well, they just put him on IR.
Yeah.
All right.
And Tyler Huntley placed in concussion protocol.
Well, he got bent in half.
What's
yesterday.
His name? Well, who's the guy? That's his name, Brown.
AJ Brown or something.
Anthony Brown or something.
Anthony Brown.
That's a pretty plain name. So, All right. On behalf of the whole Run Pure team, we'd just like to say Brett Favre, best Packers quarterback of all time.